from 1512 to 1520. Selim the First, also known as Selim the Grim or Selim the Resolute, oversaw a time of tremendous development for the Ottoman Empire. Selim expanded the frontiers of the Ottoman Empire into the heart of the Muslim world, capturing the Levant, Egypt and the Hejaz area of the Western Arabian Peninsula. Selim the Grim increased the Ottoman Empire size by 70% in just 8 years. This phenomenal development created a firm basis for his successor, Suleiman the Magnificent, to advance Ottoman authority into southeastern and central Europe. Disputes arose early in the 16th century between the Ottoman Empire and the Safavid Empire of Persia, which bordered to the east. The Safavids were a new Persian dynasty established by Ismail I, who intended to distinguish himself by establishing authority over huge expanses of land in the Middle East. But it was not only a territorial struggle. The Safavids were mostly Shia, in contrast to the Sunni Ottomans. While vying for political dominance, each power also desired religious dominance, and they would resort to using one to obtain the other. In an effort to weaken the Ottomans, the Safavids backed up Shia insurgencies in the Ottoman Empire's eastern provinces. Selim's accession to the head of the Ottoman Empire was not assured by birth. Inheritance by strength was a practice of the Ottomans. After their father died, Ottoman princes had a race against the clock to be the first to Constantinople, the capital, and win over the officials and soldiers so they could take the throne. It was usual for competing claims to go to battle with each other, until the strongest one killed out all of his kin. While this arrangement had the advantage of shielding the kingdom against an incompetent, who would inherit by mere virtue of birth order, it came at the cost of the tranquility of the realm every few generations. We know little about Selim's boyhood, although it is apparent he was thoroughly taught in soldiering and generalship. He was assigned leadership of Trabzon, a city on the Black Sea in modern Turkey. He showed his military bona fides during his governorship, frequently repelling invading Safavid forces and leading a successful war to seize part of the kingdom of Georgia in 1508. If you're captivated by stories like this, don't forget to subscribe to Ancient Perspectives for more epic tales of history's greatest figures and moments. Hit the bell icon to never miss an adventure into the past. By 1512, Bayezid II had lost control of not just his advisors, but also his sons, as each sought to set the basis for their political careers. The Ottoman administration was riven with factions and intrigue, with viziers and other top officials often supporting one royal prince over another brother. These court divisions continuously sought methods to discredit one claimant over another. Shehzadeh Ahmed, Selim's elder brother, sought to usurp the throne while Selim was battling in Crimea. In response, Selim and his army went across the Black Sea and recruited additional warriors for their cause. Bayezid II was compelled to abdicate on the 25th of April 1512, when Selim's soldiers invaded Constantinople. The former Sultan was transported to Dimitoka, in what is now northern Greece, to retire in what amounted to a pleasant house arrest. He died less than a month after his abdication. Selim then had to secure his position from his brother and nephew. Following a humiliating loss at the Battle of Bursa, Ahmed was captured. Ahmed's son, Sezaid Murad, escaped to the Safavid Empire, but never had the backing to undertake a battle against his uncle. He died in 1519. Selim ordered the killing of all his remaining brothers and nephews to secure his position as Sultan of the Ottomans. In preparation for an invasion of Persia, Selim attacked the Ottoman rebels and their Persian supporters who had troubled his father's rule. Assembling the Janissary Corps, the elite slave troops of the Ottomans, Selim rapidly proceeded into eastern Anatolia and murdered every male Shia in his domain. This terrible operation was the preliminary phase for a battle with the Safavids. Hostile letters were exchanged between Selim the First and Ismail I in the lead up to the fight. At one point, Selim accused his adversary as drinking too much that it damaged his intellect and made him overlook the business of state. Selim led the Janissaries into Safavid Azerbaijan, aiming for a final clash. Shah Ismail had the benefits of a far bigger army and steadier sources of reinforcements and supplies, but lacked muskets, which the Ottomans did. Chaldiran in August 1514, Selim overwhelmed the greatest Safavid army and forced Ismail, who was also wounded in the fighting, to depart the battlefield. Selim's belief in gunpowder armament and Ismail's disdain of its potential power proved pivotal. The Ottomans took the Persian capital of Tabriz shortly thereafter, with Selim making his victorious arrival on the 5th of September. With the Safavid Persians defeated, Selim next moved his army against another Middle Eastern opponent, the Mamluks Sultanate of Egypt. The Mamluks shared a same cultural heritage with the Ottomans. In past ages, they too had been slave troops dispatched from Central Asia by the Abbasid Empire to attack their foes along the boundaries. The Mamluks acquired control of Egypt and then rapidly conquered the Levant as well as the western coast of the Arabian Peninsula. By the early 1500s, they effectively dominated Mecca, and Medina as well as Jews and Christians were under Mamluk hands. In late 1515, Selim began to build up his Janissary soldiers on the Mamluk-Ottoman frontier. Following lengthy preparation, the Ottomans marched into Syria to fight the Mamluk garrisons in the countryside. The Battle of Marjadebik, fought on the 25th of August 1516, provided the Ottomans a clear way to Egypt. The Sultan led his army into Egypt, crushing the main Mamluk army at the Battle of Ridania on the 22nd of January 1517. The Ottoman Grand Vizier was slain in the conflict, but the last Mamluk Sultan's head was hanged from the gates of Cairo to signify their loss. Having given such a strong message, Selim opted to have the remaining members of the Mamluk government swear devotion to himself and the Ottoman Empire rather than construct a whole new administration. This is a fairly old strategy of keeping control over conquered territory by successfully ensuring the current local legal, tax and administration systems operate smoothly. The triumph over the Mamluks also brought with it a new title for the Ottoman Sultan, guardian of Mecca and Medina. This new status symbolizes the beginning of the Muslim world until the demise of the Ottoman Empire in 1918. They controlled the principal pilgrimage routes to the holy towns of Mecca and Medina, which millions of Muslims utilize for the annual Hajj. Selim's military conquests were also followed by large-scale economic programs. Following the Ottoman triumph over the Safavid Persians, Selim ordered a comprehensive embargo against his Shia adversaries. They exploited their monopoly over the land trade routes that spanned over the Middle East, as well as control of the Red Sea, the Eastern Mediterranean, and the Black Sea, to choke the Safavid connection to the international economy. The supply of commercial products coming from the Far East to Western Europe had to transit via Ottoman territory. Another key characteristic of Selim's reign was his lack of tolerance for inefficient viziers and other Ottoman officials. Having observed firsthand the impact of court politics, Selim purged those persons who worked for personal power and influence rather than guaranteeing the continuous running and development of the empire. Many viziers were killed by Selim for not living up to his severe requirements, leading to a traditional curse, "May you become one of Selim's viziers." This may have been a reign of terror against the administrators, but it did ensure that the Ottoman Empire remained internally stable. It also provided the framework for Suleiman the Magnificent, Selim's son and successor, to have a smoother transfer to power. Selim was also canny in foreign politics. He sought out to the Indian Mughal Empire and successfully negotiated a military and economic alliance against the Safavid Persians. The Mughals bordered the eastern side of the Safavid Empire, and they aimed to conquer additional land at the latter's expense. It also helped since the Mughals were Sunni Muslims, exactly like the Ottomans. Together, they sought to guarantee that the commerce routes flowing via the Persian lands dried up. Selim should also be honored for his cultural achievements as well as military ones. He was proficient in both Turkish and Persian, and while not on battle, produced a great quantity of poetry. He also supported the notion of the printing press to promote key works while further ensuring a flourishing classical transcribing business. This helped to make Constantinople a hub of cultural and educational interaction. Selim I died on the 22nd of September 1520 after a brief illness. Though his rule lasted less than a decade, his persistent attempts to bring as much land under his control as possible ensured that his son and heir, Suleiman, could have so successful a reign as to be granted the title, Magnificent. If you're captivated by stories like this, don't forget to subscribe to Ancient Perspectives for more epic tales of history's greatest figures and moments. Hit the bell icon to never miss an adventure into the past.